It's Carol Martine welcoming you to my art studio, and today we're going to be getting back to a piece we started last week, and this is going to be Color Explosion Part 2. This is my cheat sheet. I'm interested in learning how to make an acceptable 3/4 face. So I thought, let me practice a little bit with this one and put it right over here on top of the watercolors so that I will have some inspiration and something to lean on. If you will remember this, we have a very large sheet of paper in which we got to this point last time. This is a very large full spread. We're not going to think about this today. Today's goal is going to be to draw and watercolor this face into this area, and I think it's just aching for me to get started, even though I really am not sure what is going to happen. So we're going to share an adventure. Here we go. Since this is a 3/4 face, we're going to grid our face very lightly. Now I prefer to have the tip of my nose a little bit lower than some folks might like, but I'm going to put my tip of my nose area here and my mouth right here. I'm going to begin, I think maybe I'll bring this in a bit so that you can see my markings a bit better, and let me get in frame. There we go. First thing, let's get the temple on the side of her head and over here next to the bridge of her nose, and then we're going to put in a line for her eye, and then we're going to leave an eye space here and put other eye out here. Righty. We stand up and make sure, yes, that is working. And then we're going to come down to her nose and put that circle right here. And then we're going to come down to her lip area and put a lozenge shape in here for her lower lip area, and then her upper lips and her lower chin area right here. Alrighty. I think now I'm going to work on her nose, put her smaller nostril on the narrower side, and then her nostril area and the side of her nose out here. And then let's get down here and put in a bit of a philtrum. And we'll work her lips up here around the area that we have. This one falls right down. And then we have a line between between the lips, which lines up under the dip at the top, this very shortened area because of the foreshortening in her face, and then her bottom lip area. I'm not going to delineate it much more than that at this point. And then we can put the shadow below her lip, her bottom lip there. And now, let's see what we can do with working on this side of her face. Bring it right down around this circle, and here we're going to go up over to here and swing up, over to here and swing it up. Ah, we're starting to see someone here. Now let's see, we put her ear area in a very vague manner. Let's see, we need to have the bottom of her ear over here within the nose area. Alrighty, and this area, and let's see about putting in some sort of a hairline. Right. Now let us go back and see what we can do about giving our girl a nose. She can come down and around this area. Oh my, she's developing a nose as we speak. Now we're going to use this area to outline her eye. And I'm going to stand up again to make sure we have some alignment happening here. Here, the top of this area, we will bring in her eyebrow. I think that might be a little bit higher than I'd like to see her eyebrow. And you'll notice that this watercolor on this high quality, decent quality watercolor paper erases quite nicely. This eyebrow started the way we wish it to be. Let's do a little bit of removal of some of our original sketch lines. See if we're happy with her chin, the outline of her face. Going to have her looking a little bit back instead of forward. We're going to have her, just to give her a little personality, we're going to personality in her eyeballs, which would be something interesting to achieve. Might be a first. Let's get her eyes here and here. Yes. At this point, I would recommend that you, if you have a phone, to maybe take a picture to see if these marks are exactly where your eye is telling you that it is, because it certainly might not in reality be lined up or looking at the way you are seeing it, because your eye might be compensating and putting in things that are not truly there. Our brains are wonderful for finishing our problems and making things work for us, whether we need it or not. Now for her neck, let's see, do we like her chin? I'm thinking maybe a little softer cheekbone, maybe just a little bit less chin. Yes. She's a little bit too over-chinned. Let's see if we like that better. Yes. I think she might need to be a little bit less over here. A little exaggerated, too exaggerated for my taste. Yes, there she seems to be coming to join us. Righty. I'm going to really even continue to keep that nose, ear, nose, Carol, nose, ear. Alrighty, let's see about bringing her neck in down here and this neck area going out this way. Let's look at her now from a distance and see if we still like her. I'm believing that the right eye is a little bit smaller than the left. So let's fix that now. I don't think I'm too inclined to fuss with her anymore. I think she is close enough to where we would want her. Oops, I'm still not happy with this. Let's see what we can do here now. for our next step, we will use our marking pen. Now this is my new Sharpie pen, purchased recently at Target. And we're going to put some sketchy marks down on here because it is permanent and will not interfere with our watercolor. Oh yes, I'm much happier. With that higher chin line. And I'm quite happy with this Sharpie. It feels very nice in the hand. I think I'm going to put on a very light application of ear so as not to take too much away from her face. So, here she is, already quite a colorful girl. Now, what will we work on next on her? I think we're just going to plunge in with our watercolor, since this is permanent and should be quite happy to stay exactly where it is. We have the darker side of her face, which it should be, with the purple on the forehead and the pinker shades on her cheek, and the nice, most natural high lit area on this side of her face, up over her brow and her eye, almost as though we planned it. So, the cheat sheet can go away, and I'm going to spritz my watercolor palette, and you will notice that I have swatched my colors so that I know exactly what we will be using. I'm thinking that maybe a touch of yellow might warm her up. Maybe play up some of this purple area over here for shading. Well, let's see. the black would be here and the purple would be here. And I'm thinking that we'll use, I'm thinking that we might use this purple and maybe this shade of yellow to start, to see if we get enough bang for our buck with that one. Using a rather large Princeton number 12 watercolor brush. My 2 jars of watercolor and my Viva paper towel. Almost as though it were cotton fabric. It is expensive, but I treat myself to one roll at a time, and it works wonders with brush cleaning and dabbing and removing water. I think we'll start on her darker side. Let's see what the see if we can just add a nice bit of darker shade and let the water work and run. It's blending in very nicely with the colors that we have been using already. In order to get rid of this line, we're just going to apply clean water. And take it away as necessary. Let us go now to the yellow. Let's see if we can just add a little bit of yellow magic to this side. I'm not going to go into this purple because we don't want to make mud. So let's make sure and let's play up a bit of our pink. to use a little stronger bit of yellow up here at the top to add just, oh my, just a little bit of glow. Finding that I'm really enjoying using this yellow. So let's do it. Now, since I'm quite happy with the effect that we have, let's take care of her lips and her eyes, because we can always come back to them. What color shall we decide that her eyes should be? I'm wondering if this shade of blue mightn't be nice. We don't have too much blue happening. So let's see what, oh, this is, you'll notice, has a nice bit of yellow in it, so let's see what we can do to give our girl blue eyes. Now they have a bit too much water on them, so we're going to take some off. Now, mustn't neglect her ears. Let's get a little color out here. Now, let's start thinking about hair. I'm feeling that the hair might do nicely if we were to continue to bring up some of that purple and put a bit of red in it, reddish pink. Maybe the lip color might work well. So let's see if we can't declare her hair. Let's see if we can't give our girl some flowers in her hair. darken this area up, add some of our red, and let's go back to a little bit of our mauve over here. Let's see about our purple flowers again, because you know that watercolor dries much lighter than one might expect or wish. And let's have just a touch more blue added to these eyes. I think we'll go back and give her a little touch more rouge on this one cheek. And put a little bit of pink that we used in her lips around in her eye area. She needs a little bit more strength of color along the side of her nose. I believe our girl is starting to join us. think that we're now going to dry her a little bit and do a little bit more pen work and let her rest for this session so that we'll see what she wants to tell us for our next one. I hope you've enjoyed the start of our lady in watercolor. I've certainly enjoyed having you at my studio today and hope you will join me again when we work some more on her and then on this half of the spread. Thank you for joining me. If you have enjoyed this, I hope that you will give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I would appreciate your subscribing. Thank you so much.